video walkthrough on a used Canyon Trail. We'll start in the back. There's a ladder on here, so the roof is walkable. Definitely recommend going up there every once in a while and just inspecting your roof, making sure everything's in good shape to avoid any problems in the future. Just keep a thing of self-leveling around. Just spot seal your roof every once in a while. It should last you longer. Bumper caps on the end. Each of them come off on each end. That's going to be the perfect place to store your sewer hose. Since this is used, there may or may not be a sewer hose in there. Got a receiver here. Little caution sticker wore out, but usually, and this one is that case. These are not meant for towing. A bike rack, maybe one of those large grate racks to store some extra coolers and some supplies or whatnot, but that is not meant for towing. Stabilizer jacks in the back. This is one on each side in the back. A crank with a 3/4 inch socket, or you can get an adapter and run it with a 3/4 inch socket with a drill or an impact or something. Either way, you're going to want to make sure you just lubricate them. And those are not meant to pick up the weight of the trailer. You're going to use your front landing gear to raise and lower it to get it level. You have cable inlet and satellite inlet. Not a lot of places still provide cable, but some do. You can hook up cable there and watch cable TV. Intake and exhaust for your fridge, that's just for airflow. Definitely recommend just keeping them clean up in here and whatnot. I even recommend taking these off and cleaning back there every once in a while. Range vent exhaust, so if you're using a fan on your range hood, make sure you open this so it actually has somewhere to go when you're traveling. Make sure you clip it back closed. Shore cord, it's your shore cord. It's a 50 amp shore cord. This twists on, this whole large piece, and then this you can tighten on too to keep it nice and secure. And you can see about how long it is. 25-30 feet long is usually about how long these are. Exhaust for your furnace, just keep it clean. They do make screens for it. You can put those on to keep debris and road debris from going in there, or insects building nests or whatnot, spider webs, bees' nests. I've even seen one with a bird's nest in it. So those screens are going to help prevent that. Right below that is where you dump everything. So that's your main connection right there. And then you should have all your valves up over there. So you have one black and two grays. So one of your grays is going to be for your kitchen sink. One of them will be for your bathroom. These two will be for your bathroom. And that one should be for your kitchen sink. Always make sure they're all the way closed before you take your cap off. And then I always do my black tank first, and then I dump the gray. Let the black get completely empty, then I'll use the gray water to flush out the hose. That way when you pick it up to move it, to put it wherever you store your hose, it's not dripping in black tank water. Makes it a little bit easier. Water heater, super simple to use. Set this aside. So the only thing you have to do is put your anode rod in this. Believe it or not, this is in good condition. Probably have another year or two left with this before it's time to get a new one. When you have about 20-25% of this remaining, time to get a new one. All you have to do is put it in. Let's get it started by hand, and then 1 1/16 is your socket size. Snug it down. Then as soon as you hook up water to, she'll start filling automatically, whether it be from your city or fresh. Once it's full, you can kick it on. If you want to use electric, make sure this switch is on out here to on. And then if you're going to use gas, the controls are on the inside as well for that. Definitely recommend making sure it's clean in here and up in there. Spider webs, any debris, to keep the burner area nice and clean. You can use compressed air to blow it out. If you are, be mindful, because whatever you blow in here is coming out here, so just don't stand in front of that. Now, I definitely recommend draining it after every trip. To drain it, first thing you do is shut off all your water. Then you're going to open up your pressure relief. Water's going to squirt out, that's fine. Once it stops, snap it closed, then take your plug out. If you neglect to do this part first, you're going to get a bath. So make sure you relieve your pressure first. Then you have little pegs that go in there. Line this up, pull it through and turn it. And that's how you close that up. You can run this closed like this. Water box with an outdoor shower, both hot and cold. Inline filter. Your main connection right here. Hook your hose up to here. Then you have a little chart right here. If you have it pointing down like this, that's city. That's, if you turn it to tank, that's going to fill your tank. If you put it up to normal, that's if you're going to pull water from your tank using your pump. So turn it to normal, turn your pump on, that's going to pull water from your tank. And then the last one is sanitize and winterize. So you can hook your hose up to here, you turn it to sanitize and winterize, and then your pump's going to suck from this hose. So if you have a spare hose, you can screw it into there, stick the end of it in a gallon of antifreeze, turn the pump on, it's going to suck from that rather than from your fresh tank. But your normal everyday use, especially if you're just going to be hooked up to city water, is going to be like that. Right above that is a tank flush, so you can hook a hose up to there, and as you're dumping your black tank, turn the hose on. There's a little sprayer in the tank that's going to kind of help flush everything out. And then right below everything is a water heater bypass. So right now it's all good, set up to use. If you want to winterize it, you turn that to bypass. It's going to prevent any antifreeze or any water or anything from getting into your water heater. All right. Passive storage with a couple tie downs in there. Propane. Dual cylinders. Dual 20-pound cylinders, brand new, freshly filled. You could upgrade to 30s if you'd like. You can see that this right here has a little arrow on it. It's pointing to this tank. It's going to pull from this tank first. If, we'll actually turn these off right now, make sure they're both off. Yep. If this one were to get emptied, use all the propane, this is going to automatically switch to pulling from this tank, provided you were to have both of them on. However, when it switches, this doesn't move, so it doesn't indicate that it switches. So there's no real way for you to know that it has done so. That's why I recommend just have one on. When you run out, come out here, manually switch this over, turn the one that you had on off, and then turn the new one on. That way you have in the back of your head that you need to get a tank filled. Landing gear control. So this will be that one, and the other one will be your other leg over there. So you can kind of use that to get your trailer level side to side. So if you're picky about that, you can do that, use that to get it side to side. And then if you want to raise and lower both at the same time, you just hold both buttons at the same time. And that's how you could also use it to give it level front to back. And then you would snug those stabilizers down. Here, some good information that your VIN is on there. Cargo carrying capacity, 3,770 pounds. That also includes tanks. So if you had all your tanks full, that also includes that number right there. You have some other good information. Tire pressure, 65 PSI. Always check them before each trip. Then you have tire sizes and whatnot if you choose to. If you have a tire blowout or you have a worn tire, you know what size to get. Coming over around here, you have your batteries. Battery right there, brand new battery. And then a spot for a second one if you choose to have a second one. And then your battery runs on your 12 volt stuff, so you can run some of your 12 volt stuff off your battery, but definitely make sure every once in a while you plug it in, let the battery get charged up. In the winter, I recommend taking your battery completely out. And in the summer, or not in the summer, but like in between trips, if it's gonna be a couple weeks between trips, I recommend disconnecting the negative lead off of your battery. That's gonna keep anything from using your battery unintentionally. If I can, yeah. There we go. Block it with my hands, I'm sorry. Miss all the fun stuff. You do have a propane quick disconnect tucked up underneath here, so if you have a grill that works with these, you can definitely do that. Other side of that pass-through storage, antenna, TV, and cable outlets, as well as a GFCI outlet, so you could have a T outlet out here. A couple different cranks. That one up there is going to be for your stabilizers. The bottom one will be a backup for your front landing gear. And more outdoor GFCIs right here. All your GFCIs are on the same circuit, so if one will trip, they will all trip. Alright, well, that's pretty much it for the outside. We'll head our way into the inside. The nice thing about these is it's got already slide toppers on it. Slide toppers are real nice to have. So we'll start right here. Controls for that ceiling fan, you can turn on and off. Water heater, turn it down. That turns the water heater on gas. If you want electric, make sure you use the switch on the outside. You have the controls for your water pump here. Awning both in and out here. Bedroom slide, main slide, which will be, this is the main slide. And then second slide is that slide right there. You can read your gray tank, black or gray. Gray 2 is going to be kitchen sink. Gray 1 is going to be in there. H2O will be your fresh tank. Then you can read how charged your battery is here too as well. You can control your main lights both on and off here. Entrance lights, which is just that light right above here. So that's good if you're walking in, it's kind of dark. The first light you can turn on is the entrance light. So you can have a little bit of lighting to see this if it's dark. Security lights are both lights on the outside of the trailer and whatnot. Probably be unable to see from in here. But there are lights on the outside. There's one right here. That's your porch / step light, and then a security light should be on the opposite side usually. Yeah, not too much complicated here, and everything's nice and labeled so you know what everything is. Switch for a fan right here. Opens and closes that fan over there. Then you can change your speed of the fan, whether the air is going in or out, so that reverses the direction of the fan. Open and close the lid. If you close the lid, when it closes, the fan will automatically turn off. And then you can hold the set to 78 degrees Fahrenheit, so once it senses it's 78 degrees in here, it'll automatically open and turn on. Thermostat controls here is very simple. First thing we turn it on is ask what mode you want, auto, high or low. That's just your fan mode. I recommend running on auto. Auto will allow it to cycle on and off at your set temperature. So if you have it set to, let's say, 65, once it reaches 65, the compressor and the AC will shut off. Usually the fan stays running. Once it starts getting warmer in here again, it'll automatically kick back on. Hence it trying to regulate whatever temperature you have it set at. If you just had it on high or low, it'll continue to run after its set temperature, which may cause it to freeze up from overrunning. And then eventually it'll shut itself off, and then you have to wait for it to thaw to run it again. So I always recommend just running on auto. After you selected it, tap it again. You're on cool, so your cool goes all the way down to 55. When you're on furnace, your furnace goes all the way to 90. Very simple to use. Light switch here just does your hall light in here. We'll come on into the bedroom and light switch for the bedroom here. Plenty of storage up front and whatnot. And this one should have, if you choose to in the future, get a washer and dryer installed. This is equipped for that. Definitely recommend making sure your doors are locked when you travel to avoid any damage to them. So, They're locked right now. That's going to prevent them from swinging everywhere when you drive down the road. You should have a small amount of storage under your bed. Let's see if we can't get this. Yep, some storage under your bed. TV in here. And as well as provisions for a 12-volt TV. And then you have a remote for it in there. Come into here, to your bathroom. Oh, before we go into the bathroom, you have your antenna. Antenna is super simple to use. Just crank it all the way up this way. And you can pull this down here to go all the way up. We won't go all the way up now. Pull this down and you can rotate it to kind of tune in your signal. Before you lower it, make sure these are lined up so it sits right on the roof. Coming into your bathroom, I switch for the bathroom here. Right there's your GFCI, that's your main GFCI. If any of them were to trip, that's the one that you're gonna hit reset on. Toilet, super simple. As long as you're pushing this pedal down here, it's gonna keep flushing. Nice thing about this toilet is it's porcelain, so it's nice and sturdy. It'll feel like your toilet at home. Shower, make sure you do retain it like that when you travel. Other than that, very simple, hot and cold. You have a fan in here. We recommend you run the fan when you are taking a shower, just to help keep the moisture off the walls and whatnot. Very simple in here. Coming through here, right down here. You have your breaker box. So if I can't, see if we can't get into that. It's a little stuck. Keep in mind this is used, and they only ever approve a certain amount of things to be repaired. Breaker box, so all your breakers for your 120 volt appliances, you can see there's quite a lot of them. And then all your fuses for your 12 volt. So you have a 30, a 10, a 15, the rest are 20s. I recommend carrying some spare fuses just in case, because one of them will be for like your water pump, one will be for your slides and your lights. And you just never want to be caught without the ability to use those things. Here, plenty of storage in here. Nice large kitchen sink. Like I said, this drains into its own tank. Microwave works like a standard microwave. If you're not plugged in, it won't work. Have a light and fan here. Remember, if you're going to run that fan, make sure that switch on the outside, not switch, but the flap on the outside is open. You have a light switch for lights in the kitchen area. Cooktop, very simple. Lift up and fold under. These are very simple. Turn them to light. Twist your sparker, they'll light right up. All three burners work the same way. Your oven works a little bit differently. You turn that to pilot, push and hold in. As you're pushing and holding in, you're looking down in there. You can kind of see it back there. There's a pilot back there. You're gonna manually light that pilot with a barbecue lighter, match, cigarette lighter, whatever you have. Once the pilot is lit, you can then turn it to your desired temperature. Now you have to make sure the pilot stays lit when you let go of the button. Once you're confident it stays lit, turn it to your desired temperature, and you're good to go. If you plan on cooking again in a few hours, you don't want to have to relight that pilot. If you turn it to push and hold pilot again, shuts the burners off, leaves the pilot on. Definitely recommend before you go to bed or before you leave this trailer for any more period longer than half an hour to turn your pilot off. That's just my recommendation. You can't monitor. It's an open flame, and you can't monitor it if you're not here. So I always recommend turning it off. Manuals and whatnot in here. We'll put this in here in one of your drawers so they don't slide around when I'm transporting this to you folks. We'll put it in here so you guys know. Fridge, super simple to use. All you do is on or off, auto or gas. So I recommend running on auto. Auto is going to default to 110, so if you plug in, that's what it's going to use. But if for any reason the campground were to lose power, or you were to accidentally get unplugged or whatever, it'll automatically switch to running off of propane, provided your propane were to be on. Now, whether you're running on gas or electric, this will take 8 to 10 hours to get to this correct operating temperature. So please schedule your trip accordingly, so you can have food, have the ability to store food in it right away, rather than having to wait half a day. I always recommend, if you can, plug it in at home, let it get cold, and then book it to the campground, or we are delivering this to you. So if it's delivered to a permanent site, just plug it in right away and just leave it plugged in so the food stays cold. TV and radio, you should have remotes for your TV. Extra supplies for your radio, remotes for your TV should be. They might put them over here. Sometimes they like to put them in drawers. Yep, TV remote right here. And plenty of storage there. Radio is super simple to use. It's like a touch screen, tap power. You have different zones. Go to mode, radio, disc, off, clock, whatever, and then radio. Change the channel here. Let's try to get one where we can hear some sound. We won't go to my favorite channel, but we'll find one with some audio. It's my least favorite. Alright, so volume here. You have different zones. So zone A is inside. Zone C is outside. Yep. And I don't believe zone B is used on these. We'll Right. Zone B. Zone B is your bedroom. Zone A is like this living room area. Zone C is outside, and then Zone B is your bedroom.
Not Tom Brady though.
Let's turn that down. Then you have some audio settings. You can choose between USB or band. You have line in, so you can plug your phone in that way and whatnot. And a CD player and all those extra features. TV is plugged in through your. You'll have to move this to antenna. Move up to antenna if you want to use your antenna. Previous owners had it set up to run off a cable. Right below here, got a fireplace. Very easy to use. You have this little cage here. You have to fold down. If I can remember how to unfold it so you can get to the buttons. There's a way to do it. There you go. So you have on or off. That turns the main thing on. That's going to turn your flames on. This will change the level of heat, and this will change just the intensity of the heat and the flames. So flames are going away, bring it back up, flames come back up, and turn off. So this is electric. This only works if this camper is plugged in, and it does push out a good amount of heat, so it's good for getting the chill out of air. If it's summer but you have a little bit of chilly night, you can turn that on rather than having to run your furnace and get it roasting hot in here. Have these two recliners. This is exactly how you want this set up when you close your slide outs. If you rotate them and use them as normal recliners, they will interfere with the slides, may break the slide out, may break your chair. Previous owners, I don't think this is part of the trailer, but they have a, oh, it might be, could be, but they have an end table you can put between these, or middle table rather, because it'd be in between them, not at the end. And that'll be good. Set some drinks down and whatnot. Just make sure you put this all like this before you close your slide outs. Couch right here, turns into a bed. Undo these cushions, set them aside. Unfortunately, this is kind of hard to do one-handed while filming, but you would then lift these up, and it's a pull-out couch, just like your pull-out couch at home. Well, not saying you have one at home, but the kind they sell for your homes. Dinette table and whatnot, chairs strapped down so they don't go anywhere. And then this does rotate. You can rotate this table by unclipping this and then rotating it. Just make sure you rotate it back to this position, how these chairs set up like here. Otherwise, this table is going to hit this island right here and damage something when you're closing the camper. And then carbon monoxide and propane gas alarm. That's hardwired to the 12-volt system, so there's no batteries you have to worry about changing. Then you do have a smart alarm up there. Those uses 9-volt batteries. All right. Well, that pretty much concludes our video walkthrough of your used, I already ran, I think it was at Canyon Trail. We'll go back out. Sorry, just forgetting to make sure you guys know. Yep, used Canyon Trail Aztec Edition. So I hope you folks enjoy it. Get a heck ton of use out of it. Hope you found the video informative. Goodbye.